feel like saying yes can be a bit of a skill that you need to learn. I know I was very lucky. My first big opportunity was something I found on Facebook. It was this job posting on Facebook. The image that was posted, it was a stock image. The person's profile had nothing on it. They needed someone to come and do media for them. All the comments under this post were like, it's a scam, look at their profile, it's a scam, this isn't real, blah, blah, blah. But I took a risk and I said yes, and it turned out it was one of the best opportunities I've ever had. I got flown out to work abroad for a long time and met some amazing people. It was very inspiring. But saying yes to that, I remember my dad was very like, say yeah, what's the worst that happened? Like, you might fly there. Like, worst case scenario, you get your camera stolen. What worst case scenario? You're gonna get robbed, probably. And it all worked out. And then, I kept saying yes to things, said yes to things that I couldn't handle. Having said yes to a lot of things teaches you what your limits are and teaches you when you should say no. So early on, you need to learn how to say yes, build the skill of being able to say yes all the time. Yes, yes, yes. Only then will you hit those moments where like, God, why did I do this? And that will allow you to know when to say no. But if you start out saying no and then try and start saying, yeah, it's way easier to just say yes, 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 go, 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 go. You find out what you want to do and what you can do by doing the stuff that you don't want to do and finding out what you can't do. But you got to say yes first. And also, when you start saying yes and you do things and you're busy, you're building a reputation as someone that does things. You're going to build that reputation. And the reputation is the thing that's going to get spread around and word of mouth, and people are going to hear about it and suggest you and recommend you. So yes, yes, yes. If you want to progress quickly, say yes. An opportunity that I said yes to, which at the time felt small, which turned into something very big over the last few years, is I met a film director on Facebook again. He needed someone to come down to Shoreditch with a camera, film this short film he had. We spent the night on this bus filming his short film. It was a great time. And at the time it felt like, guy, this is cool, that short film, blah, blah, blah. That short film went on to win loads of awards. It's now hit the YouTube algorithm. It's getting lots of views. It's called Suck a Dick, if you want to go see it. I'll show you. This was from another movie project we did, but here's Mr. Director in the middle there. There's Mr. Director, Hugo Santa Cruz. There's me, his Kish, our main actor. This is us on set of another film, and this is why I say that was an important moment, is because, yes, that was Hugo's first short film. It was just a short film. But since then, we've shot 3 feature-length films, and they've been in international film festivals. They've been sold. They've been big opportunities and big learning opportunities for me, which I wouldn't have got otherwise if I hadn't just said yes and taken that short film. But I think an even more surprising story like that was someone asked me to shoot behind the scenes of their photo shoot. I came on, shot the behind the scenes of their photo shoot, and I met the producer of the shoot. We had a nice chat over lunch, really nice guy. Some of you may recognize him. And later down the line, he messaged me saying that he was setting up a company of his own and he needed some headshots. And I was like, yeah, I'll take your headshots, of course. Like, had a great time meeting you on that shoot. Let's do some headshots, it'd be great. Met him and his business partner, both lovely guys. And then later down the line, he was pulled on for a commercial job. And he obviously knows that I don't just do photography, don't just do behind the scenes, but I shoot my own stuff. And I ended up getting caught up in that commercial project, and that ended up being my first big commercial photo shoot. It was for Fraser Group, so like House of Fraser, like the big shop in London. It was for USA Pro, which is like a sportswear brand, and that was like a big commercial. We had this huge studio. I got like all of my favorite team to come and be a part of the shoot, and we smashed it. It was great. And that was, I think if you told me at the time of going on and like when I got the call to do that behind the scenes shoot, when they were like, do you want to come, shoot some behind the scenes of this shoot? Like, yeah, I never would have thought that, that would have had a knock-on effect where I would end up shooting some big commercial. And that's what I'm saying, like the saying yes is important. It's very easy to, you get the call for like a little behind the scenes or like, oh, can you help out on this short film? We really need someone. You never know what's going to happen later on. You never know what those people are going to do later on. You can't just see where other people are at is where they're always going to be at. If you want to progress and you want to get better and you want to do big things, you've got to remember that everyone else who's, in this industry doing the same thing, they all have aspirations of, going off and doing bigger and better things, and they will. And if you help out and, you're busy and you're saying yes now, later on, you're going to turn around and be like, oh, are you head of that company now? Oh, shit. Oh, do you want to hire me? It's like, well, of course I want to hire you. Remember, we've been in this together for ages. So saying yes, it all works out. Okay, what's my advice for photographers who are hesitant to say yes to a job because they don't feel ready or experienced enough? Okay, there is this ongoing joke about photographers in sort of like the commercial world, which is their assistants know way more than them and kind of carry them through the photo shoot. And sometimes this is true, sometimes it's not true. Sometimes the photographer is technically skilled and just can't be bothered. There's so many, I'm not trying to throw shade on anyone in this story. But if you get the opportunity to do a shoot and you don't feel prepared, bring on a team, bring on someone to do lighting, bring on an assistant. You don't have to do everything yourself. You can share a bit of the budget around, even if it's not enough, even if it's not a lot, share a bit of it around and get something good made. What's a time I said yes and regretted it? What did I learn? I feel like more often than not, saying yes to working with friends can be difficult sometimes. Not always for the reasons you think. There was one shoot I had to do. I was brought on to do sort of behind the scenes of another person's photo shoot for a friend of mine. I didn't know the photographer, but when I was taking pictures of what was going on, the photographer basically complained to the label that they didn't want me there as I was, going to be giving away their secrets or stealing their ideas or their lighting or whatever. And they were quite unhappy about my presence. So basically, I just had to spend the whole day upstairs, not doing anything. I took a few pictures in the hair and makeup area, and then for the rest of the day, I just sort of stood upstairs, not doing anything. After that, I was like, I don't really want to, send an invoice for, this is my friend here. The money, it's part of their project, the money's going towards them. I don't really want to charge them. I think it was something like 700 quid or something for the day. And I was like, don't really feel like I've done 700 quid's worth of work here. I took some pictures in hair and makeup and then went upstairs and did some other work on my computer. So I didn't end up charging. I didn't send the invoice for that one. But that was a difficult one where it's like, if that was any other person, I'd be like, yeah, well, it's fucking, I went, rented equipment, spent the day here, I would have charged, should have charged. Looking back, I probably should have charged. But yeah, because it was a friendship, in the mix of the work, it put me in this weird space. And at that time, I needed that money. It was really stupid of me not to take that £700. But that was something I learned. It was like, really being able to, like, when it comes to working with friends, be very honest and set boundaries and, express how you feel. Okay, here's a useful one. What's my process for evaluating when an opportunity is worth saying yes to? Okay, if I hear the opportunity and it excites me, say it's a musician, I'm like, yeah, I really love their music, it's worth it. If it's a designer, I'm like, yeah, I love the clothes, I'm in. Or if they're like, I really want to do this idea, or it's like, yeah, or we want to travel here, it's like, yeah. If it's something that's less interesting to me or something I've done before, if it's something I've done before, it's going to cost them more because A, I don't like doing the same thing twice, and B, if I've done it before, I know how to do it. So you're paying me for my knowledge on how to do it. If it's something really boring or something I really don't want to do, I think the easiest thing is to price it high, because the motivation for me to do sort of creative projects is either I want to do it because I'm excited, or the value has to be monetary. And if I'm not excited, all the value is coming from the monetary aspect. So if I say a high number and it's too much for them, then I don't want to do it. I won't be excited about it. And I need the excitement to come from somewhere. I need the motivation to come from somewhere. So the motivation either needs to come from me being excited about the project or the money. And if it's a really terrible job and you don't want to do it, don't think about the price of like, how much is it actually worth? Think like, how much is going to make you excited to do it? How much is going to make you happy and be pleasant on set when you're doing it? And set that as the price. Now I'm going to close on one that I need to work on myself, which is saying yes to networking. There are so many people in this industry, and it feels like we all know each other, but we don't. You had people and it's like, oh, we got so many mutuals, but like, it's all kind of, oh, you just bumped into so-and-so, or you saw so-and-so tagged on so-and-so's thing. And every time I say yes, like going and meeting up with someone, I'm like, God, what a great time I just had. But it's so easy to just be like, oh, I just need to, like focus on this next project and just like knuckle down and lock in. And it's like, you forget. Because every time you go and meet someone new, something usually comes from it, whether it's an idea or a new way of thinking or just a nice connection. And it can be so easy to just lock in and just be like, no, I don't need to go out. I don't need to. It's just like, why am I going out and spending money on fucking coffee and drinks and blah, 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 when I can just be like working? Like a balance you need to strike. And I definitely lean more towards the kind of like, yeah, I'm going to stay in and do my like work on my canvas for the next video and blah, 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 blah. Definitely, you can say yes to too many, like going and seeing people. I know when I first came to London, I was just so amazed by everyone. I was just like, whoa, oh, what do you do? Oh, who's this? Blah, 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 blah. And that kind of like, but you get burnt out of like showing so much interest in people, to the point where I ended up going the other way, where I just kind of like locked myself away and I was just like, I don't want to talk to anyone. But yeah, there's definitely a balance out there. And it's definitely what I'm going to be working on this year, is to go and see more people and not just see the people who are, trying to see me. I get messages on Instagram. It's like, I need to remind myself that I am worth people's time. Because, people ask me all the time, it's like, oh, can we go for a coffee? Because they want to have a chat, they want to hear. In the same way that if you've made it to this point in the video, there are people who want to hear, what I have to say and stuff I've learned over the years, or technical stuff, or just, what they should charge for their work, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, this is why I'm making these videos, is because I don't want to go and have coffee and repeat myself hundreds of times and tell people these things. But I need to remember myself that I should meet up with people and learn from people. There are the people watching this who they are sending the messages and they have that like self-worth of like, yeah, let's go chat, let's blah, 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 blah. But then there's also the people watching who, like me, are like, oh, why would anyone want to talk to me? Like, the hell? Like, well, I'm not going to message anyone. Nah. So to those people, do send the messages. 'Cause I'm going to be trying to do that this year. And then follow through and go and meet people.